When you walk through a storm, hold your head up high and don't be afraid of the dark. At the end of a storm, there's a golden sky and the sweet silver sound of love. Walk on through the wind, walk on through the rain, for your dreams be tossed and blown. Walk on with hope in your heart, and you'll never walk alone. You'll never walk alone. Walk on with hope in your heart, and you'll never walk alone. You'll never walk alone.
Hail, hail, and welcome to the HomeBhoys Live podcast here on Tuesday, the 23rd of December. This is, I suppose, is the Christmas show, Christmas special, if you want to call it. Definitely only foods and horses on this one because Paul Larkin's not here. So,
I'm the horse.
you're the horse. I'll be the fool. Well, no, me and Harvard be the fools, I suppose, right? There you go.
Hercules.
What?
Hercules.
What are you talking about?
Is he a famous fool?
Hercules the horse?
Yeah.
What do you fucking own a ranch, do you?
Fucking Steptoe's son.
Oh, right. Here, that was a callback from weeks ago, for Christ's sake. What are you talking about? Anyway, listen, what a great opening. Happy Christmas, everybody. We are back, obviously. It's a Christmas special. We're about to do our show before Santa Claus comes down the chimney with the toys. And then next week, we'll have a New Year's show. Paul Larkin is not with us tonight. He's off doing the family thing because it is the festive season. And but we are joined by David Harbour.
And he's coming down the chimney was a provo Santa Claus. Oh, right, man.
Thank God we're privately owned and there's no FCC censorship involved in this show. Tell you.
Just a wee joke, that, no?
You don't realise how PC the world is now, no? You can't
I
say
know.
things like that there. I mean, you can't even make fun of Rangers anymore, apparently. Exactly. I mean, they make fun of themselves. So, we're also joined by Jason Higgins out there on Wishaw.
How you doing?
What's happening, mate? You alright?
Yeah, good mate.
Good. So, tonight we got a lot going on. Obviously, we have a lot to talk about. We always do because we're just a bunch of ramblers. We also have a special guest coming on within the next 15 to 20 minutes. We have Martin Beattie coming on, father of the infamous WeeJay. And if you don't know who WeeJay is, I would hazard a guess you've been living in the cave for about a year and a half because Wee Man's a legend. And his dad's coming on tonight to talk to us about the whirlwind. I was going to say 2 weeks, but the whirlwind year and a half they've had. I mean, and we'll get to that in time. But before we start, before we even get into anything, And I know we like to have fun on this show and we like to have a laugh, but I want to get dead serious for a second. I want to talk about what happened in Glasgow yesterday in George's Square. I don't think any of us can adequately put into words what the kind of feeling that's going around Glasgow. I mean, Jason, you're in Glasgow, you live in Glasgow, I mean, and you work in Glasgow city centre. I mean, you probably have a better handle on how this has affected the society over there more than anybody else.
I was in the town yesterday afternoon, and I walked right along Queen Street about 12 o'clock, so it was about an hour and a half before it. So, I mean, there's loads of things going through my head, you know, and one of them was my kids were at North Lanarkshire, the kids were at school today and yesterday, Monday and Tuesday, whereas in Glasgow, and I think Glasgow and South Lanarkshire, they finished on Friday past. So I was saying to my kids, never mind going to school, I'll take you into Glasgow, we're going to the fun fair and stuff like that, and they wanted to go to school. So if they hadn't went to school, they could have been with me. But I was in seeing someone at West Nile Street, and then I walked down through Nelson Mandela Place and by Queen Street Station, then down by the Count House, and then I went to Ingram Street to do a bit of shopping. So I walked along there, and then I'd got my stuff and whatever, got a couple of presents from back, I parked the car in Jamaica Street car park, and then drove home. So I drove in through the Gallagate, and I get in, and just as I get in, my phone went, and it was my youngest brother, Joe. Please tell me you're not in the town. I'm like, I wish that was happened. And he told us, bloody, turned the news on. My God, could not believe it. It's horrific, you know, and it's just... it's coming out now, they're naming whoever it was, and it's 3 members of the one family. Young beautiful lassie with her gran and grandfather, and another 5 girls and a guy, and then there's a couple of people in intensive care. And it just, you can't put your head around how this has happened, you know, it's been a tragic accident. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, that the word is that the driver of the truck had a heart attack or whatever he's took out, because one of the eyewitnesses says the guy was slumped over the steering wheel. It's just thankful for the grace of God, mate. You just need to give your loved ones a wee cuddle and just savour every moment you've got on this earth, because you never know when it'll be your last. And that's obviously Glasgow. That's last year, the Clutha tragedy, and then this. And you just say to yourself, it's just no fair, you know, and it's terrible, mate, absolutely terrible. Heartbroken for those it's affected directly, you know, and the city in general. It's just terrible, mate, terrible.
I mean, it's like I say. I mean, the Clutha Vaults last year. I mean, as horrible and as freakish as that was, then this happened to happen again a year later. It's just you don't know, how do you process that? I mean, how does a society process that? It's hard to comprehend, and like you say, thoughts and prayers with the families and anybody affected. I mean, like, anybody even seen that happen? I seen a girl get interviewed on Sky News, and like she just didn't want to mention like what she'd seen, even though the guy kept pressing her for it.
I'll tell you, but see the reporters for Sky News, they're fucking animals.
But that's a given. I mean, you can see he asked her twice. Can you tell me about the bodies in the street? I mean, that's a very fucking direct question. I mean,
they're horrible. You know, it's like the Sun newspaper on the TV.
Yeah,
it's sensationalist, absolute shit, and it's so bloody annoying. I mean, nobody wants to hear about stuff like that.
No, I mean, nobody's thinking about that. Nobody's thinking, oh, I wonder how it actually looked in real life. Nobody wants to know that shit. I mean, just don't ask those questions. Get people. I mean, like, anybody that was in the vicinity, I imagine, is affected on a personal level. People who are involved, families are involved. People who have like loved ones who are still in infirmaries or maybe getting released from hospital. They're involved. Everybody's involved. This tragic accidents thing. They're news because people need to know they've happened in order to suss out whether their family have been involved. But in terms of like making it entertainment, which Sky News seem to want to do, I mean, nah, that's wrong. I mean, and it's horrible. And there's going to be a minute's silence. I've read it at the Ross County game at the weekend in memory of the 6 that have died. And Harper, you think you want us to win there, mate?
No, not really. I don't really know what to say. Like, been thinking about it a lot. It's heartbreaking. I got a message at my work yesterday. One of the guys was already on holiday. Texted me saying there's been a bad accident in Glasgow. It's the Sky News. So I jumped online and had a look. You just can't really imagine it. It's like, I don't know, it's like something you hear about other places. I know that sounds stupid, but there's some films or TV or something.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem right. That it just shouldn't be happening. No, you just think about people just getting their shot or whatever, and then next minute you're gone. With your whole life, like the pensioners, like for their whole life, like that's just wiped out like that.
And before
it's not fair, man. It's horrible. It's one of the things that everybody was talking about it, obviously, in Milwaukee today, like, here in Ireland, it's one of these things that's sort of, I don't know if it's global, but it's a massive, massive thing. Like, I think, especially this time of year, makes people really sink home to them, like, brings it home. A lot of people, like, you never know in a minute, like, but thoughts and prayers, like, I know it's a thing you say a lot of thoughts and prayers, but I'm not somebody who prays because I'm not a religious person, but it's definitely been in my thoughts constantly since yesterday, and it's just very sad, man, very, very sad.
I just want to give a shout out here as well before we move on, because, we have to move on, everybody has to move on, I suppose. Jack Sweeney and his wife Lorraine and his granddaughter Erin, who was only 18, 3 of the victims yesterday, and Jack was the former president, from what I can gather, of is it Bramalea Celtic Club, Harper?
Bramalea, they'd be one of the big clubs in Canada they've held the convention and stuff before. So I mean, I don't know the guy personally, I don't even know if he was just here visiting or he still lives in Canada or anything. I don't know. Like he's maybe even somebody I could have met at one of the conventions in the past. Like, no, I've no clue, but he was the president of Bramalea, which would be a big club in Canada. To say they've hosted the North American convention before, like, so it'd be probably a well-known face and name with a lot of the North American support centre.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know what else can be said, to be honest with you. I mean, not that we want to put a massive, sort of grey tone on the show, but we do need to make a point of addressing this, because it is something. I mean, when I first heard about it, my thought was like, doesn't Jason work in Glasgow City Centre? I mean, aren't there people I know who kind of bounce around Glasgow City Centre? So you kind of go to yourself, like, that could be anybody,
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it was the people it was, and
you feel for the driver as well. Like,
yeah.
I know. Comes through, he's going to live with that the rest of his life.
I mean,
it's a tragedy, man. It's
all around. It's horrible. I mean, but I think we all know Glasgow's a very resilient city, and people have bounced back. But I think pause must be paid to the people involved, and say hail to all of them. I mean, what else can you do? And I'm sure Jack himself was watching the game at the weekend, which we're going to move on to now. Dundee United, not a good result either. I mean, not a particularly terrible performance though, in my mind, from watching it. But I mean, the result wasn't great. I mean, Harper, obviously you're laughing because you disagree. But
no, I really enjoyed the game.
But the thing is,
enjoyed it.
How many games are we going to go through now when there's like a stat come up on the screen at one point that was like three attempts to 12. And that's Celtic with a 12. I mean, how many games are we going to go through now where we're just missing chances? And is it part of the fact that Godetti's off the boil at the minute, that maybe we're not taking these chances?
I would say, yeah. Godetti is off the boil, and Lee Griffiths isn't off the boil.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which he proved when he came on. So I think Griffiths has got to get his chance here. You would definitely think so. But the game was good and bad, and it was very, very exciting to watch. But at the back, we were in absolute shambles. A fair score would have been 5 each.
Aye.
And it's like, but you've got to say, Big Skepovic's goal ruled offside. Nothing wrong with it. He actually
is onside.
He's behind the guy that's played the ball to him. Never mind the defender.
Out of the 3 men in the picture, right, and on the screen, he's the guy furthest back.
Aye. Shocking. Absolutely shocking.
And the linesman's, he's right in line with it.
The linesman's standing
catch up with Clare.
He's standing in line with Shepovic.
There was one as well in the first half, but see the Godetti potential penalty. I don't know, it was like shoulder to shoulder, but you've seen them given, you know what I mean? But there was another one that nobody's even picked up in this. Big Virgil got hauled. The guy's got 2 hands in his shot, yanking him in the 6 yard. But Virgil didn't claim for it. I don't know if that was the one that came off the crossbar or that might have been later. But
later, he won. I think he won the header there. He put it well there. But your man had a handful of shot and wrapped in him as well. Aye,
you're saying where?